Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our industry seminar session with an industry partner of ours called FourthWall. I'm very excited for this session today, a personal favorite of mine, this industry partner. Along with joining us today is an ICMS alumni and current FourthWall employee, Alicia Petrie. Good morning, Alicia. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. You're not actually at this concert behind you, are you? It looks
I sure am.
Okay, yeah, right. You must have snuck off to the UK or something like that.
That's it.
Very good. Hey, look, thank you for joining us. As I said, obviously, I know you from your time studying here at ICMS. It's been great to see you walking the corridors, which I'm actually in myself today, which is quite exciting. First time out of home in quite a long time. But look, it's obviously been exciting having you here at ICMS. But just so people know your background, you studied the events management degree here yourself. You went and worked at FourthWall for industry training placement, which you secured through ICMS during your degree here. And now I believe you've secured a full-time role at FourthWall. Is that correct?
Yes, I graduated at the start of this year and I went straight into being a project coordinator.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, I mean, I'm quite excited to see what you have to talk to us about today. So I'm going to hand right over to you now. For everyone watching live online, we do have a couple of things for you to know. Firstly, there's a little blue button beneath the screen today, which is where you can ask questions live for Alicia or myself. So fire them through at any time, and then we'll get to them towards the end. And then at the end as well, we'll have a bit of a Q&A with Alicia. So any questions you fire through, we'll ask her in about 10 or 15 minutes. So look, over to you, Alicia. I'd love to hear from you.
Great. Thank you, Phil. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. It'd be great to be here today. I'm Alicia Petrie, and I'm a project coordinator at one of ICMS's industry partners, FourthWall. And just as importantly, I'm an ICMS alumni. I began my journey at FourthWall as an intern in 2020 as a part of ICMS's industry training program. And when I graduated from ICMS at the start of this year, I was hired as a full-time coordinator. Today, I'll be talking to you about both my time in the industry and also my journey at ICMS. FourthWall is a creative and production agency that is strategic, creative, and long-term project partners for progressive and forward-thinking organisations. We have mastered not only live events, but have shifted to broadcast and digital experiences for organisations throughout this difficult time. We've been able to map the future of events through EventCast. EventCast, powered by FourthWall, is an award-winning tool that while stuck at home, attendees have the chance to feel they're a part of an event using the three main elements: immersive, interactive, and tactile. The online platform is an innovative combination of real-world tactile experiences, digital interactions, and immersive content, which uses the in-the-moment technology blended with human insights. It has been so incredible to see the transformation and rebound of the events industry firsthand. Although I haven't been in the company for very long, I've been able to be part of some incredible events, such as Mardi Gras in 2020 with Sam Smith and Dua Lipa, and work with some of the leading companies in their industry, such as Google and Microsoft. The event industry is a huge sector and has many different elements. The world is your oyster when it comes to events in Australia. The great thing about the event sector is that it is ever evolving. There is no doubt that the pandemic has drastically affected much of the event sector. But at the end of last year, the Prime Minister announced a $50 million event program fund that will be granted to help support the supply chain, build confidence, and restart the industry. This incredible grant will help grow and amend the $35.7 billion impact COVID-19 had on Australia's visitor economy. It is such a unique and fun sector as we can use creativity to power memorable events. Don't get me wrong, it can be very challenging. There are long hours and trying times involved, but when you get it right, it is so rewarding to see your client and attendees happy. Depending which avenue you are thinking of pursuing, you have the chance to not only travel Australia, but the world. As the event industry is such a creative industry, you get to work with some unbelievable people who will shape you as a person in your career. There are many different types of job opportunities, You have creative directors who look at major events such as Vivid. You have coordinators who liaise with staff on site, help build the event, and look at the logistic elements. You have venue managers who usually have a passion for a certain industry such as theatre and look at all the events that are held in that venue. There are so many roles and avenues you can explore. It's quite incredible. Throughout my short time in the industry, I have learnt that asking questions and speaking up in meetings is not a bad thing. It is a useful tool that reinforces strong work values and supports your progression through your career. They make you stand out and create a lasting impression. The event sector has allowed me to become a more confident and knowledgeable person. I may not know maths, but I certainly know the best broadcasting studios in Sydney. When I was in year 12, I had no clue what I wanted to do or what to pursue. But after I was realising I was planning everyone's HSC notes and colour coordination and creating a PowerPoint presentation for a camping trip, I knew events was the perfect industry for me. Someone very smart told me, if you're good at something, never do it for free. It takes a special person to be able to thrive within the event sector. You need to be resilient and determined to ensure every event that is produced is better than the last. I never thought I'd be examining plantable paper, but that was my Tuesday. The event sector can be hard but incredibly rewarding. It is so much more than throwing a Gantt chart together and sending an invitation out. You have the chance to create memories for people. I personally grew to be a very confident person after being pushed to be more expressive and speak up in my classes. Prior to studying at ICMS, I would have never taken this opportunity to speak to you here all today. I would have ran in the opposite direction and never looked back. But I am here today, although very nervous, like I'm sure others are in some way, standing here in front of you to tell you my story, and I have ICMS to thank for that. ICMS believe in the power of small classes. I found this personally helped me in my progression and helped me place top 5 in 5 of my classes. The small, close-knit classrooms help almost feel like a one-on-one experience with your lecturer as they guide you through your degree and into your career. You grasp a deeper understanding of content and build a rapport with your classmates and your lecturer. You don't need to look very far to find amazing role models and successful people within the event industry. If we were in a room right now, they would be in that room. Many of ICMS lecturers are absolute stars and are some of the most successful people in the industry. In my first term at ICMS, I was in Katrina Deneau's class, and wow, she had an incredible influence on not only myself, but the industry. And I'm sure if you got a chance to hear her earlier today, you would have got an idea of the type of woman she is and the incredible work she has done. ICMS provides students with great lecturers within the sector and give you real life examples and tips and tricks that will help you progress throughout your career and into your degree. The CEO of FourthWall, Jeremy Garling, is one of the most unique and incredible people I've ever met. He started the company when he was only 17 years old, and 11 years later, he's won multiple awards and has held events for huge companies. His creativity and sheer determination to ensure all his clients are happy truly inspires me in my career. I remember prior to working as an intern, I was told it was a hard internship. They work you like crazy, but it all depends on the way you look at it. FourthWall provides interns with great insights into the industry, as they allow you to participate and contribute to the many facets of event management. You are not only seen as an intern, but as a part of the FourthWall collective team. At my time at FourthWall, from being an intern myself to being an employee, I've seen several interns who have left a good impression on the company and enjoyed themselves while doing it. This reflects the way ICMS instills values in their students, which resonates with companies looking to employ their future leaders, and why FourthWall continue to participate in the industry training program. My motto has been Vouloir c'est pouvoir, which translated means where there is a will, there is a way. This has been imparted to me since I was a child. If you have the determination and will to do something, you will accomplish. ICMS is, in my opinion, the best university for event management, as they provide you with crucial tools to be able to thrive within the sector. Despite the pandemic having a detrimental impact on the sector as a whole, we are now slowly coming back, and once the pandemic is resolved or minimized, the event industry will have one of the most interesting comebacks. Thank you for having me here today and to impart some of my industry exposure that I have been provided with from ICMS and FourthWall. Good luck in the future of events. It will be an interesting and exciting one. Does anyone have any questions, Phil?
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Alicia. That was really insightful. And look, your journey in such a short period of time has been incredible. So also congratulations to you on such a successful journey in this such short period of time. So yeah, hats off to you. Yeah, look, you're right. There is some questions coming through here on the live chat function. So the first question here is from a girl called Agatha. She's asked here, look, I'm pretty stressed at the moment with my year 12 trials. Obviously, this year trials have been relatively thrown around compared to previous years. And that's something where we're here and we understand that process. So we've got your back, don't worry. But you were talking about highlighting and color tabs and all that sort of thing through the final stages of year 12, which sounds a lot like you. What would you say to someone in year 12 right now who's going through the trials, and they're stressing out and they kind of just don't know what to do and where to go? What's your advice?
Well, to be honest, this time next year it will be over. I promise. It doesn't seem like it, but it definitely will be. Yeah. And it really shows how much effort you put into something is what you'll get out of it. So if you put in little effort, you won't get much out of it. But if you really put everything, in order, you'll nail it. Yeah. Look, great advice. And for those watching that are currently doing their trials, or they may have been pushed back and they're in a couple of weeks, which is happening at a lot of schools. This year we're very understanding of that process, and we aren't just going to ignore the fact COVID is throwing around trials. So look, don't stress about that part. We've got a lot of flexibility and we understand. So just make sure you get your application in. That's a critical part. Then we can help you on the next steps. So. I know your career is just starting, but you've obviously had your placement for 9 months in industry plus your current job now. So your career has actually got a couple of years under its belt. What have you been most excited about in the events industry? I mean, you mentioned a couple of big names there, like Dua Lipa and those kind of places, people, sorry, but what do you like most about events? I think that you can be so creative. I think that the event industry, as I said, is huge. Like, really, even if you didn't like events, you can find something that you like in it. Like, it's sure. Just, you have whatever you produce, you can see it firsthand, which I think is incredible, that however much effort you put in, you can actually see it and see the happiness in other people, which it's so rewarding. Yeah, great. And what's your favorite event that you've worked on so far? Oh God, so many. Probably Mardi Gras. I think it was one of the best experiences. Okay, cool. And actually, Andrew has asked, what is one thing that you're glad that you learnt at ICMS that you've taken into your career? Probably the speaking up in classes and not being nervous. I think that the close-knit classes at ICMS have helped so much, because it's almost like you're back in high school where you can ask your teacher and you build a rapport. Like, it's just great that they, it helps you grow as a person, and it really helped me. Okay. And why is the business element to the Bachelor of Event Management also important? Have you found you've used the business skills you learned in class in the events industry? Yes. A couple of people have sort of said, do I need business in events? But actually you answered the question, but do you think you need it? Definitely. There are so many classes that I did that I didn't think some things were as important, but when I got into the industry, I realized that you actually need it, and I've actually used some of the tools, which has been great. Okay, fantastic. And what's your sort of longer term career goal? I mean, where do you see yourself going? I mean, I know the events is a pretty crazy industry, even outside of COVID. There's so many opportunities. Are you thinking you're going to stay in this area for a long time, or you think you might move around? Or I really don't know yet. I'm just riding the wave.
Cool. Fantastic. So, I mean, why are you glad you picked ICMS? If you could sort of sum it up overall, why would you say to someone that you never met before in an elevator pitch, why would you say ICMS and you're glad you picked it?
Well, you just have to look at, the percentage of people that get jobs, and you just need to look at me. Like, I got a job before I even graduated, and I think I have ICMS to thank for that. I think I would have never been able to do that if I went to another uni where there's hundreds of people in your class and you're not really seen as a person. Yeah. I think that in ICMS is just a great tool.
Yeah, fantastic. And how often were you in class as a student? I mean, did you have enough time to balance, work out, like as in making money work outside of your class work, and coming to, being in class, socializing with your friends, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's hard to balance at the start, but when you get a routine, it's great because ICMS allow you to change your classes and where you want to be. So, you can just work around that, and it's really useful.
Yeah, great. And look, are you local to the Northern Beaches? Whereabouts are you from?
I'm not. I'm not very close. I'm in the Hornsby area.
Okay, and I assume did you drive to campus? I know we have free on-site parking, so you drove and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I drove.
Yeah, cool. So how often were you on campus? I mean, two to 3 days a week or something like that?
Yeah, so I was 2 to 3 most terms, which was great because you can still work.
Yeah.
A full day.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And look, I think the final question we have coming through here, I'm kind of consolidating them all because there's a few on the same kind of theme. And so if you could give one bit of advice to people, getting into the events industry now, like coming through ICMS, getting their degree, and then going into the events industry, what would be your one bit of advice that you had maybe wished someone had given you when you started, or that you've learned along the way?
Probably don't feel overwhelmed that there's so much to choose from. I mean, You've got your entire life to choose something, and whatever you choose first isn't going to be what you stay in. So I think you really need to remember that, you have the world as your oyster.
Yeah, fantastic. Good, very good advice. Well, look, thank you for joining us today. I've really enjoyed hearing your story and seeing where you're up to. And look, I'm sure we'll stay in touch. And I'm happy to and really excited to watch your career grow and into big and successful things, I'm sure. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So for those of you watching online at the moment, the main thing to remember, the next steps for you are a couple of things. Firstly, early entry. So if you're currently in year 12, make sure you jump in, get your early entry application in. It does close on the 8th of September. And we are obviously quite flexible this year with when you get your trial marks to us, we can use your other year 12 marks and year 11 marks if needed. Update your UAC preferences. So UAC preferences are closed at the moment if you already have an account until the 12th of August. But if you don't have an account, you can jump in now and you can make an account and just make sure ICMS is number one, because we often don't get below our first preferences in UAC given our size. As Alicia alluded to, we don't have classes of 300-400 people here. Our biggest class is about 30 to 35 students. So we want to make sure you don't miss out on getting an offer. And keep in mind, this year 12 group is the biggest year 12 group graduating in the last 10 or 15 years. So the demand will be higher than normal as well. Finally, live chat. So if you have any other questions outside of now, you can jump onto the live chat today, and our student services team will be there to help you and assist you. And you can also go back in and look at the event management specific course briefing that was just before this session if you did miss it. That's online now live for you to go back in and check out. So look, thank you for joining us. Thank you once again, Alicia, for your time. We really appreciate it. And congratulations on a successful early career. Really excited to see where you go. And thank you everyone for joining us today at Open Day 2021.